Hey guys, Roflcopter here, back for the first time in a very long time. I think the last time I made a video was probably about 4 years ago, and yeah, I've been meaning to make this video for a long time, so without further ado, we'll get right into it. I bought a Rolex about 2.5 years ago, and I just wanted to show it to you. I've been meaning to do this, and I just wanted to show you, just like we talked about with stacking in the past, that you know the stuff doesn't have to be out of reach. You can get what you want. You just gotta find out where to get it and how to get it in a way that you can afford. But this particular one I got from Overstock.com. They had a deal. I got an email one day saying, "Hey, 2 years free financing on anything." And thought to myself, well, let's put that to the test. Just curious to see what I could find on there. And with 2 years to pay for it, the sky was kind of the limit here, on what I was willing to, consider shopping for. Um, and as I went through the stuff, all of a sudden I started seeing Rolexes on there, and I couldn't believe it. And so sure enough, I found one I liked. Did a little homework, decided that this was the way to go. My one of my old friends actually had a very similar. This is a Datejust. Um, there's all the specs here. I bought it February 2016, and one of my friends had one. I always thought it was a cool watch. He had gotten it way back in the day as like a confirmation present or a communion present or something from an uncle, and I just thought it was always a really neat watch, and I always thought they were way outside of what I would ever be able to afford. And so when this came up, I just kind of thought it was an opportunity I just couldn't pass up on. All said and told, it was about $3,700, split into 24 months of payments. I think it was a little over $200 a month, all said and told, 170, something like that. I forget what it was, but do the math. 3,700 divided by 24. Here's the specs. I'd show you the more of this sheet, but this is actually a warranty sheet that I got with it, made out to me, so it's got all my personal info on it. We see it's a model 16014, serial number 5559921. I did some homework on that, and 5 million serial number I think puts it somewhere in the late 70s. I think it was like 78. So you figure it's basically a 40-year-old watch. It's stainless steel Datejust. With I've got the stick dial, and this bezel right here that runs around the outside of the crystal. That's 18 karat white gold. You see, I have what's called the fluted bezel. You can get smooth ones, and I think there's some other ones, but that's what came with this. Overall, I love the watch. It's actually a more or less almost a daily driver. I mean, I wear it pretty frequently, and for being 40 years old, the thing is tough as nails. I never realized until I actually owned one what they're really like in person. They're extremely light. You wouldn't believe how light this watch is. I mean, you wouldn't think it's actually made out of steel. It's incredibly light. And unfortunately, the lighting here just doesn't do it justice. I've got a softbox out with my camera here, and it just doesn't do justice. You wouldn't believe how incredibly shiny it is. With the older models here, with the 70s vintage, they do have the holes for the lugs, which that kind of sucks. So before anybody screams fake, just know that that is a feature of older Rolexes. They didn't go away until I think the mid 90s or early 2000s. Another way that you can tell, if you've never seen one in person, if you watch the second hand, you'll see that it just doesn't actually tick, it sweeps. And if you listen to it, they make a very quick ticking sound. Like, they don't tick like, once or twice a second like a normal watch. There's 8 or 10 ticks. You'll hear when it's ticking. It is a mechanical watch. It's not an automatic. I mean, it is an automatic, but you still have to manually wind it once in a while if you don't wear it constantly. So there's no batteries or anything. You know, it's all spring loaded. You can see the Cyclops. That's another way that you can tell if you have a fake. Is, you know, you can look at the amount of magnification. I forget what the ratio is, if it's 1.5 or 2.5 times, but you know, when you look under the Cyclops there, and then you look through the Cyclops, you know, it should be a substantial change in size there. And you can see inside the little sticks for my numeral markers. Those are 18 karat gold as well, and the thing really lights up inside. The only thing that sucks is it's old enough that all my luminescence is dead. The little, you can see the little dots next, you know, on the ends of the sticks there. That's the little glow dots. They have never glowed. Even if I hold it under, you know, a fluorescent light for 20 minutes, they just don't glow. So unfortunately, those are dead. But other than that, you know, a couple of quick things here while we're talking about it. If you ever want to know, you know, spotting a fake, any sort of sticker on the back here, as far as I know, is always a fake. Real Rolexes don't have anything. They just have this kind of steel bubble. The other way that you can tell that I've noticed is on the bracelet, everything has serial numbers. There's a serial number there, or, you know, model number, whatever, part number. There's one there. When we look at the bracelet, the back of the bracelet is always stamped, but you can see there's even a part number there. There's another one down there. So, you know, you should always see lots of part numbers on them. Of course, there's none on the actual watch itself. They're all under the lugs here. You have to take the bracelet off to get them, which, you know, that's where these numbers come from. They pulled the watch apart to get them. You know, and I love the Jubilee bracelet. They're extremely shiny. The only thing that really sucked about buying a used Rolex, sight unseen, is I had no idea if the thing was going to fit when I got it. And sure enough, of all the ones that I could have bought, I got one that was, oh, I don't know. I think it was 2.5 inches shorter than what I needed, 1.5 inches, something like that. I think it was sized for a 6 or 6.5 inch wrist. I think I needed an 8 or a 9. So that kind of sucked. That's really the only complaint that I have, is whoever owned it before me took out all the original links, and of course you never got them back. So I do have a couple of aftermarket links in there. You can barely tell, but you just see these 3 here. 1, 2, 3. Those are not factory. So that was kind of a disappointment, but, you know, any port in a storm here. You can't be real picky with a 40-year-old watch. So, you know, just to kind of finish up the summary here, guys. So I got the watch. You know, you got a little booklet here. Got my packing slip. Got that. And then I got some instructional stuff that came with it, how to care for it, blah, blah, blah. So that's pretty much it. You know, let me know what you think in the comments. Yeah, I'd really love to grow the channel again, and you know, just know that, you know, just because you know, these things are $10,000 new or whatever they are now, 8, 9, 10. You know, I've seen them all over the place depending on what features they have. But, you know, the one nice thing I like about Rolex is they don't lose all their value. I mean, you know, Seiko or a Citizen, or, you know, one of the other, you know, kind of department store nice watches, you know, Kenneth Cole, you know, whatever, Gucci, you know, any of these ones that aren't from an actual watchmaker, they're not going to hold any value. I mean, you see them at the thrift store, you know, entire shelves of them, you know, $2, $3, $4, $5 a piece. You know, this thing will probably never be worth less than what I paid for it. So, you know, it's a great heirloom now. My son can have it one day. You know, or I can sell it, or, you know, whatever, if it goes way up in value. But I bought it somewhat as an investment. I mean, it was a little toy for me. Something, you know, nobody else I know other than my friend. I don't really know anybody else that ever bought a Rolex. So I decided to go a little crazy, and here we are. So anyway, guys, I'll catch you later. Roflcopter out.